Welcome back to Port Ginesta, Barcelona, European Yacht of the Year 2025 trials. I'm Toby Hodges. This is the new Pure 42, and this is a yacht I've been waiting to see and get aboard since January at Dusseldorf Boat Show when Jan first introduced it to me, because this is a super cool new concept. Hope you enjoy getting on board with me. Well, we're sailing tomorrow, but what I wanted to do now was just to take you on a little cockpit and deck tour while the boat's all smart and nice bit of evening light, and I've just been looking all the way through it, so it's a good chance to do it. So a little bit about Pure Yachts, shipyard near Kiel in Germany, and they started from 3 people wanting to build something a bit different. So there are a lot of explorer yachts out there, typically centerboarders, typically pretty heavy, and designed, to go into high lats and stuff, but not ones that, I don't know of any that have that performance element in them. There aren't many aluminium designed yachts that are performing, but they did back in the day. There's no reason why they shouldn't, and Pure are here to show you why not. This is a suit, you can't really see it in the dock here, but we'll now overlay this with some clever sailing footage to show you what a modern, good-looking yacht this is. For a decksaloon cruiser, it's, very cool. Jumping on board here from the transom, you got a big door, swim platform area. You can increase that size, you could go all the way across, then you have a big area for keeping a dinghy as well. As it is, you've got a life raft locker under there. Obviously, you could fit davits to this if you wanted to. Twin helm stations. What's different about this? By the way, that engine bay is not normally up. I just asked one of the founders here to take the table off. That sticks in there so I could show you the engine bay without having to try and take that off for you. Anyway, I'll stop wittering on. I'll go through more of the sailing systems as we're doing it. But yeah, an aft helm set up from where you can sit here and manage the primary and the main sheet winch, or this folds down. I'll take you through that as a cam cleat there, and you sit against that netting, sit right outboard to steer the yacht from. A brilliant part of the design is having such a large cockpit. It's a beanie boat, but such a large protected cockpit. Not only are those deep coamings, but you've got the overhang of the coach roof. It's this sort of covered deck house cockpit design is coming in more and more, and it's a brilliant feature to protect and look after the crew. You obviously see it in IMOCAs and Class 40s and that sort of thing, but it's a great feature for cruising yachts as well. In these deep coamings, you've got good tailing lockers. Again, I'll show you during the sailing part if I haven't already, and under here as well. Before we go into this, the accommodation is all forward, which hence you've got all of this space here. So everything you look at is stowage space around this cockpit as well, and access to that. And I might repeat myself a fair bit here, but the execution and finish quality is second to none. And when I say that, bear in mind that this yacht launched just before being put on a truck. They sailed it for 4 hours in Kiel in Germany. Then it was put on a truck that came here so we could test it for European Yacht of the Year. So it's brand spanking. It's the first one. And, well, let's have a look through it, because the finish quality is superb. Show you a bit of the aluminium construction, and also, watertight bulkhead there, watertight bulkhead forward, and look at the rudder stock there, that raised flange there, how the nails are welded in for it, and then you've got an aluminium stock, and then you've got an aluminium rudder blade. Yeah, go on then, Orca, have a chew at that. I mean, that's That's gonna help you sleep at night. So twin rudders linked by this bar here. So here are the sockets for that table to go into there. So that's your main engine or access, and then these huge cockpit lockers each side. I'll show you. So this sea deck, foam decking, super comfortable under deck as well. But every area that's the bare aluminium has been sanded and then polished, and it's smooth, and then you've got the natural oxidization taking over. It's really, really nice. It's actually very, very tactile. So that and the foam decking, great. So yeah, open this up. So not only have you got the full access into this engine bay here, but all these side panels remove as well. So what I'm saying is access is not a problem. Then you've got a starter battery behind it, and that's a day tank, 40 litre day tank, which is fed for the main tanks further forward. I think it's 200 and something litres for each tank, port and starboard. Or you can choose to have the generator there, I think. So here is a bit of the attention to detail. You've got watertight doors separating off the electrics there, to make sure there's no water getting in there. But those are the panels into the engine bay, and yeah, you've got the same size compartment on the other side, so you can put all your toys you want in here, and your dinghy, sails, bikes, whatever. But yeah, I'm just sitting on the bare hull here again. Everything's smooth everywhere you look. It's immaculately finished. The hull design is at Birkenmeier Yacht Design. I think done a very, very cool job with it. Initially, it was something like 11.2 tons light displacement, and that's because he was presuming he was going to have a plywood finished interior. But it's all foam core, so it's 9.8 tons. What helps with that weight? This is a GRP foam core roof on this structure, but that wasn't the primary reason they did that. The main reason they did that was that it could help fit such a lovely interior without. So imagine if you had welded the roof, and then you've got to try and finish all the interior and put it in. But now you can put the modules in a fully finished state, so that all that foam core finish has been varnished to the colour you want it, and that sort of thing. You get a much better finish, and you're not trying to heat weld stuff. And yeah, anyway, 9.8 tons, and that is with a lifting T-keel on which the boat can dry out. So that drops down to 3.3 meters and raises up, and the bottom of that T-keel sits on the hull at 1.2 meters deep. The flat bit's on the hull, and therefore you can take the weight of the boat can dry out fine, and it can sit on the hard standing fine on the T-keel and the twin rudder blades. So yeah, so you've got an electric hydraulic keel jack for that. I'll show you where the hydraulic ram is for that as well. But the actual keel comes out of the deck. We'll have a look at that further forward of the mast base. Moving into the interior, welcome to the deck saloon comfort. Now remember, this is a 42-foot yacht. It feels enormous. Now part of that is really, as I said, because the accommodation is all forward, so there's nothing aft there, which helps by this massive cockpit area. And it also helps that give you this sense of space and light in here. So it's really tall. I'll try and swivel around not too much without making you feel seasick, but it's really tall, loads of natural light. But when viewed from off the boat, the coach roof doesn't look high, the boom is nice and low. So it's a sleek job they've done. Now, can I try and pan really slowly to show you just how good this finishing is? Given this is Pure's first yacht, the 42. They built a 49, one of the founders built with his son, and then sort of Pure started out of that. but this is their first production yacht, and by that they've put into place all the they've computer designed everything so that they can replicate this on a production basis. So all of the joinery, all the furniture is foam core. So this is all, a veneer on here and then foam core here. All of these silver grey bits, basically foam core, and that sits on an aluminium carcass. All the aluminium parts designed and finished in-house to do, as I said, on a production basis. It's wonderfully impressive. I can't think. It's super lightweight as well. I can't think of another sort of, not prototype's the wrong word, but first yacht I've been on, and I haven't spent much time on it yet, that has had this execution, this level of finish for the first yacht they've built. I mean, it is just stunning. I haven't opened any of these before, so I don't know what's in them. But I do know there's loads of stowage beneath here. And they use these Euro boxes, so standard size container boxes that you can then just take out and take them home, whatever. But yes, those boxes are always under here. So plenty of stowage space. Not underneath the decksaloon, because there's a cabin there. I'll take you in there in a second. But there's, a couple of deep drawers under that. Well, one actually, because this is a really cool spot. That's where you put your electronics and all your parts to charge, put your computer and phone and everything else, and tuck it away without the boat becoming a mess. Again, really lightweight. And this little recess here is quite snazzy as well. So that's for your laptop in there to do your chart work. And on that note, they decided against doing a separate chart table. You've got your switch panel up on that bulkhead. But yeah, they figured with this light view, this is a big table. Why ruin galley space? If you want to do passage planning on paper charts, you do it here where you can see out as well. This inboard leaf drops down, so that becomes, this section here becomes the vertical part, the lee board to this berth there, and then there'll be a section that stows behind here as a fill-in, so then you've got a nice passage berth up here as well. And if you don't believe me about the finish quality, look at this headlining. I mean, that's a fabric that's got polyester on it, and then these screws pinning it in. Each of these screws is powder coated and painted to the colour of that headlining. I mean, the attention to detail. The screws are used. It's so you can access it as well. So it's, I think you can probably sense I'm sounding impressed. Guest cabin, not bad. Sit down here, that is a big berth. Really lovely lighting. You've got a hull window there, reading lights at each end, depending on which way you want to sleep. Got some natural ventilation there, because that's coming out through the side decks, and there's a water trap in there, so you can't get any water coming through it, just get the natural ventilation part. You can get some forced ventilation as well, and then a skylight, so you've got the natural light coming from the coach roof windows. Big mirror working well there, and really good stowage in a lit wardrobe. And the hydraulic ram for the keel lives in there. Opposite here, day heads. Just a useful spot. So what they've done is separate the head and the shower compartment off, and you'll see why. I think it makes sense. You've got that, so everyone on the boat can use it. And then you get to, what do they call this space? It's a customizable space. That's what it is. I don't know, smart space, something like that. But this is the area owners can choose to adapt to what they want. So it could be a berth, it could be a workbench, could be a bit of both. This one will work really well for putting sails on, kit, bags, that sort of thing, or acting as a pilot berth, and just tons of space below it. But it could be a couple of armchairs, could be an office. You choose. And yeah, still use these boxes. And then on the support side, a big bathroom. Don't often use that word, but I don't know what else to call it. You got a huge shower area, including a seat and a wet hanging locker in here. Yeah, it's just, the modern design is really, really nice. Marcus Levinsky, I think it is. Anyway, he did some super yacht design and interior design, helped the yard out with this. But yeah, I think it's contemporary, really, really nice. No, I mean, 42 foot. This is a big cabin. Still got plenty of headroom here, so probably 6'1", right up to the berth. And with this berth, you can sleep in all orientations. So headboard end, that end, or this end again with the reading lights there. Fill that in. Loads of storage space. Look at the size of this wardrobe. It's got a safety ladder in there as well to get out for an oversized hatch. So loads of natural light through that, and the whole windows. Big cabinet there as well, full of drawers. And this is, yeah, as I say, all of this stuff is foam cord, and this is the attention to design they've gone to be able to repeat this for future owners, future orders. I think exceptional. Done an exceptional job. Welcome aboard the Pure 42. Super exciting design from Germany. And we're sailing it for European Yacht of the Year Trials 2025 from Port Ginesta, Barcelona. And look at the conditions. 15 to 20 knots, flat water, sunshine. Let's go. So just hoisted the main, and as you see straight away, that is a square top main. Plenty of power and sail area there. With that means you got the running backstays and checkstays there, led joined up onto those aft quarters. So you manage those from the aft winch, same as the main sheet. And the boom is nice and low on this coach roof. It's on a bridle system. I was just asking if you could have a traveller, you can. With the combination of that and a powerful vang, the boom gets pretty centred anyway. And we are off into, yeah, look at this, heavenly. 15 knots, 17 knots true maybe. And we're just gone with a staysail first, and we'll go up through the gears. See what she does. Yeah, this is lovely, isn't it? I mean, I know anyone would enjoy sailing in anything in these conditions, but to have a really cool new design that has a performance focus on it, and take it straight out into these lovely conditions, yeah, you really get to feel what it's made of. And it's all going very nicely so far. You feel it's quite a stiff helm. The linkage on this is quite tight, but it's direct. Plenty of control in it, and I don't know if you can see the numbers at each side of the main door there, but we're doing averaging sort of 30 to 35 degrees apparent. So at the moment 30 degrees apparent, 40 degrees true. And we're with the staysail, so nice tight tacking angles, sort of 90 degrees anyway. And we're just heading upwind here into 18 to 20 knots true. And she's sitting at between 6.5 and 7 knots, making good ground to weather. And it's an enjoyable process as well. You don't really think of a blue water cruiser going to windward as being an enjoyable process, but this is, yeah, hands-on, enjoyable sailing, and that's the performance part coming into play. So just done a little racing change, switch from the staysail to the overlapping Genoa, so nearly doubled the size of the headsail, 42 square meters now on the Genoa. And actually it's interesting because we're not losing much pointing, we're still sailing it in the sort of early 30s, the apparent early 40s in the true wind, but it's added about 0.8 of a knot to our boat speed, so we're now doing 7.5, and extra heel I guess as well, so it's slightly less comfortable, a bit less pointing, only marginally though, but good speed. Really nice to have the twin headsail option to work through the gears, and I guess from what I've seen so far, you know, around this sort of wind a bit more is when you would change down to the staysail to go upwind. So two sail reaching, these proper glamour conditions here. Look at this, we've got 20 knots true. We're sailing at around 8.5, 8.7 knots at the moment with just the head sail and the mainsail on a beam reach. I mean, that's blue water cruising, that. You get places at this speed and in this pleasure. So it goes well for a 42-foot yacht. And that's what relatively light displacement buys. Powerful sail area, powerful hull shape. And the boat's moving through the water nicely. So we have hoisted code 0 here. We are sailing in pretty magical conditions, and this is performance cruising on a decksaloon built out of aluminium. So that's something pretty novel for me, and I think for most people, because this is proper hands-on, lovely sailing, just feeling a little wave here, coming up with it, coming down with the wave, apparent wind coming forward, you know, everything you'd expect from a performance machine, but it's an aluminium deck saloon that will take you anywhere. So yeah, pretty special here, as we're currently doing 9 and a bit knots on this wave. And just see the hull start to release at that stage as well. Pretty cool. So note to those now watching, I lost the audio when showing you the forward part of the boat moving up the side deck. So this is going to be a mix from the Düsseldorf boat show of showing what I was trying to show earlier and running the sailing footage over it. What's nice about these is you can, as Urs would demonstrate as we were sailing, these are on a cam cleat and you can extend them out, so you've got proper sitting out seats from these side decks. Moving forward, you get good grab rails all along this deck house, loads of solar space on there. Tracks are outboard of that deck house, which limits your pointing ability a little bit, but we didn't see it being a big issue. This is really nice foam decking underfoot, but what you can't see, so I'm going to describe, is just how smooth all of this aluminium is. For those used to seeing aluminium blue water cruisers, they're probably quite a rough finish, I would guess. 200 grit, 180, something like that. This is sanded to 320. It's smooth. I could sit there in my, I was about to say, without any trousers or whatever else on, bare skin basically, that's the word, bare skin, and it would be super comfortable. Very smooth. And then down here, proper sail locker, bow thruster down there, and chain locker further forward. And look at the insulation around that as well. Proper crash box, proper watertight bulkhead. And a big sturdy bowsprit. On this foredeck area, again, I will overlay, you'll be listening to this as you're seeing the image of this coming up through the deck. So that is the top of the keel coming up through the deck. Now, obviously that could potentially foul self-tacking track of the jib, but obviously you're not be sailing upwind with the keel up. But that is just, again, an example of their very, very nice engineering from Pure. The advantage now is showing you this from the boat show as well, so you can see it out of the water, dreadnought bow, bit curve in it, bow thruster out, and there is that T-keel raised, and look, it is sitting on its keel. That's what it's designed to do. Don't need to put it on blocks. That is designed and engineered to be able to beach or sit on a dock on its keel. And then look at this for an example of the attention, and yet another example of the attention detail they go to, having the zinc anodes fed into those rudder blades. As you can probably guess, this will come at a price. But I mean, what a lovely niche they've developed for themselves here, Pure. I think it's an awesome boat. Its terms of price, it starts at 960,000 euros ex-tax, 950. But that's a very inclusive price. So that's a price to sail around Europe, essentially, including sails, including rod rigging, including most things. And then if you want to add this one, the only extra options on this is added, I think you could add heating. This has a carbon rig, carbon sails. So this boat as is just over 1 million, 1.05. Hope you enjoyed the tour. What a boat.